So far, all those topics we have covered until starting from the very first lecture till the last. Currently, we are at the stage of a sustainability measures in Pakistan. Regarding historical background, is we got independence in 1947, so we are basically the part of a Sanskrit or the subcontinent era. Pakistan is consists of a several civilization, a land of a mark such as which make us unique, such as Gandara, Peshawar, and Taxila in that sense, and also we have influence of so many cultures such as Breton, such as India, and such as Pashtun tribe, and then Baloch. So, if in a short terms, if we called it the the mixture of the civilization, the mixture of different culture, and the land of different peoples, is called Pakistan. Uh, Currently, we have a lot of problems in Pakistan, but living in the urban generation or the era of Pakistan, we have mostly partial like ruined system. We don't have any place where we can waste our own dump. We have all like almost open sewers, more than 90% in all over the country. We have also the problem of the water inefficiency. We have in some of the areas, even in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, we have drinking water issues as well, where Karek is one of them, my own district. So we have the insufficient water supply system as well. This is a very big issue as well, because in some of the area people usually drink the water which pH level is below than the standard. Not even the pH level, but they don't have usually they drink from the same stream from where the animals drink water from there. So you can imagine that what type of people are living their life. We have also get too much traffic congestion, and nice issues is the per capita income of the every individual across the country is improving, so each and everyone is going to buy his own car. So this is also another issue. We have also a problem of a public spaces which directly lead us to the planning department, and we have also like the persistent poverty which is increasing, and the per capita income is decreasing. This is because the country don't have any industries, factories which could actually feed their own people. So these are just few basic issues in the country. Coming to the population, as you can see from the 2010 till 2013, the total population is increasing from 171 to 184 million across the country, where most of the people usually live in the rural area. In Pakistan, almost the 50% of the male and female like almost ratio, but in Pakistan we have like almost twice of the female as well. So, and regarding the previous slide, the population of the male and female is almost the two provinces such as Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Balochistan, where the cultural norms always come first and then the religion comes. So according to the tradition, the women, we did not allow our women to work outside, which actually decrease the country economy growth as well in the terms. And regarding the population census in the regional and Muslim countries, so as you can see here, the total fertility rate in Pakistan is quite high. It's maybe because of other factor as well, but is also because of the situation through which we are actually being through, or is going on in the most of the Islamic countries. As you can see here, regarding the corporate responsibility or the population growth in Pakistan is going too much as compared to other countries or the other Muslim countries such as Egypt, Morocco, Turkey, Iran, Indonesia, and Malaysia. But if we compare them with the planning indicator, so we have a very less proportion of planning. The word planning in Pakistan, as you can see here, is 30% according to the last slide. But if you look to the population growth, we have quite high population as compared to other country other than Egypt. If you look to the urban population record according to the census, the population is of course is an uncontrolled indicator which is increasing with the passage of time, and it's expected in 2030 we will almost reach to 130, 135 or 140 million across the country. So many the rapid increase in population is actually is a kind of a task, and the per capita income is going to reduce, and also it will occur a lot of problems as well. As you can see here, the changes in urban and rural population, most of the people they want to move from the rural to the urban areas for the certain type of a job, and to have a life standard and balance smooth life growth and so on. So the people usually left their rural areas and want to live in the urban, and the city developers actually put a lot of pressure on the city planner and transport administration as well to handle such huge crowd. And what is going on actually in the rural area is, maybe some of you know that Pakistan is the agriculture country where 40 to 50% of the growth of the people to feed them is completely based on agriculture. So if such type of a people, if like that huge proportion could left the rural area, so the question is who is going to cultivate, who is going to agriculture, who will do the agriculture, who will actually grow for us. So there is a chances in coming 10 to 20 years that maybe we will have the food inefficiency as well. According to the heterogeneity in the growth rate across the country, of course Punjab is one of the huge one where the urban and rural generation is actually increasing a lot. But in even in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa in NWFP, the growth rate in urban area is also increasing because most of the people shifted from the rural to the urban areas, and the same is going in Balochistan, and of course the federal capital territory Islamabad. Their urban growth is also increasing, which is quite large in across the country. So what are the urbanization issues? We have a large increase in population which is going on specifically in the region, the region which is less educated. So because we don't have any policy of a one child or two child or even three child policy, so this is also very challenging thing to feed such a huge crowd, such a huge population with a very less input and output across the country, and a very limited resources to feed them is quite challenging task. And the population growth rate is actually increasing each and every year. Is from the previous slide, it was quite simply understandable, and from 2005 the onward expected increase is exponential as things are going quietly high. Many of the factors are actually out of control. We have a one system which we call Mardam Shumari, but all their senses are so far like not 100% correct, because most of the collected data is basically interpreted and multiplied by 5 times or 10 times. So like for example, if there is a 100 houses in any village or in any city, so what they do, they usually collect the data from 30 to 40 homes, and then they multiply it with the same number of the houses. So which is quite wrong idea, is you cannot get the exact growth rate. By the end of 2030 we will have the urban population increase of up to 50% on an average. The rural area, the urban area have the 1.5 times faster population growth as compared to rural area. If we talk about the housing and land policies issues, so we have a very huge shortage of housing units as well across the country. It remind me the very wise word from the Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, that the three or the basic things such as roti, kapra and makan. So makan is one of them, as most of the people are usually live in the huts. They don't have the permanent shelter on their head. So believe me, this is a very big kind of a blessing if you have a house above you and you have a place to sleep and you have a food to eat. So this is a very big blessing, so you should be thankful. In the country like Pakistan, which is underdeveloping and full of so many challenges around the world, if you have like stuff to eat, so this is very big thing. They are very big blessings. uh, if you talk about the annual construction, we needed around about 5700 units of houses, while the annual our construction is, which is very less from them. So basically every year from these two figure, according to the 2005 annual construction figure, we are basically 30 to 40% behind the need. It's like, for example, if we have 100 houses are like needed, so we usually build there less than half, so like 50%. So 50% each and every year we have the shortage of houses. And also we have a problem of availability of a low income houses as well. And also we don't have such institution which could bring the people and increase the access and accessibility together. And in the rural and city area, we have also still the problem of a land mafia and housing schemes as well. Regarding infrastructure deficit, we will talk about deficit later on. So we have many problems according to 2005 result. We have a chronic situation of the funding. Even the country like Pakistan, which is the seventh nuclear power of the world, could not sponsor or fund any single project by itself. We usually look to the people. So I usually ask from the student, is it wise to build a country with a borrowed loan? And most of the people get confused. Maybe you're a professional people, you could answer that. We have also the inefficiency or the absence of the capital grant. We don't have even capital, we don't have any reserve, which actually leads us towards the deterioration of situation as well. And we have also lack of maintenance and repair. We only build, but we don't have any proper maintenance even department across the country. We have financial and institutional shortcomings as well for the even for the municipal and like local as well. That remind me one of the amazing amazing portrait which was published in the newspaper, that usually the people, the federal, the provincial, the politician, then the other like lawmakers, administration people, so they all eat, like all those funds and money and each and everything, and then at the end of a day, the municipal or like local government or like per person get nothing, as you can see here from the picture as well. So what is its result is like a picture of infrastructure and service delivery, which is going in a very bad way. Talking about economic growth, infrastructure and economic have direct income growth. If you look across the country in the last 10 years, there isn't any institution or any department who could construct a project which could at least feed more than 100 families. So like in terms of the art or like work or factories or machineries through which we could like be less dependent on someone else. So this is a very kind of a direct link between infrastructure and economic growth. So if we don't have any linking together, the things will go in a more worse way as it is now. As we have a 1% increase in infrastructure like roads, electricity and telephone, and which is increased by 0.5%. So as you can see here, according to the latest like resources from 2012. So if you put like 1% increase in infrastructure, you will get quite exponential proportion increase in the GDP as well. As you can see here, the GDP growth in Pakistan and other Asian country, even the country like Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal is way far ahead from us. I would not suggest to any of my students to compare yourself with India or China, because they are on the top of the list as they are quite ahead from us. India and China are considered the most sophisticated nation around the world as compared to Pakistan is. So you can see here your economic growth and your GDP, not only among your neighbor countries but in all over the Asia. Even the country who have a less capital reserve, who are not even the nuclear power, who are not that strong, is like Pakistan, is like Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal are actually ahead from us. So you can compare yourself that where we are standing now. This is not from today, this is from like years and years, and is going on, and I hope it will stop someday. As you can see here, our fiscal deficit, first of all, as I mentioned in the previous slide, you need to understand, maybe you heard the term a lot, but it's quite hard for many people to understand. A fiscal deficit is a shortfall in the government income compared with its spending. The government that has a fiscal deficit is spending beyond its means. Fiscal deficit is calculated as the percentage of the gross domestic product GDP, or simply the total spent in excess of income. For example, in a very short term, that how much GDP you have and how much you are spending. As you can see here, how much we have the targeted one and how much annual we have. So for example, if we estimated for across the country is 4.8, but its actual is 8.0. So that means that every month we are going down by 50% in the GDP, which is quite alarming. And the my recent article, which was published on COVID-19, and the link is already given here below the slide, you can click on that. I also mentioned there that now the power holder need to understand that all their policies are non-functional, as the annual deficit is actually decreasing from almost 75 here, and we are standing at the verge of failure. Regarding the urban development, Pakistan is the second most urbanized country in all over the South Asia. According to the UN, it indicates that 36% of the total population live in the city, while the growth is concentrated around the centers, the creating larger agglomeration. So Pakistan is at the it means that the people used to live or prefer to live in the urban areas rather than rural. And the government GDP is highest GDP which is usually generate across the country. So the Karachi population is anticipated to exceed almost 15 million. Karachi is the third or fourth largest mega city around the world, similar as Lahore. Karachi is also the financial hub across the country, where alone in the population and even in GDP, Karachi contribute for almost 30%. So the question is, what are the challenges and what are the solution? Solution is you are there for is a professional, is a people who knows a lot and who can help the country to get rid from such type of a situation. But the challenges we have is the top one is regarding that we don't have the sustained economy. Things are always going like far away from behind our expectation. We don't have any improved quality of life. From 75 year, we are still fighting for the basic issues such as roti, kapda and makan. We have a problem, many problems such as depleting water resources, we have infrastructure deficit, we have also lack of quality education system, we don't have any health facilities as well, we don't have any high standard HRM professional development administration who could lead the country. All those information are according to the World Bank. So these are all the solutions which are basically directly linked with the proper planning and well function infrastructure. uh, if someone asks me that what are the problems, the problem is because we never assigned the country or the system to the dedicated people. Usually the people who are expert in one field are basically the head of another field, and the people, usually the people and the other power holders whose job is something else, and they are actually busy to run the system, to run the government, and also to work on our foreign policy, which is kind of a shame for the country like Pakistan. So like the basic name of the country is Islamic Republic of Pakistan. So there is no republican or democratic system. What is democracy then? So like the selection of the people, so which is still doubtful according to our Nadra census as well. So according to our population, so currently, according to my opinion, the country is actually leading in one of the worst era, in one of the worst direction ever the the politician or maybe the historian have ever measured or faced. Regarding infrastructure deficit annually, we have a problem of like irrigation and water infrastructure. We have also problem of the large and slum and small dams as well. We have also the problem of the infrastructure project as well, through which we could like increase the power generation. So all those projects actually needs a billions of dollar. So now the question is, who gonna pay those billions dollar? So the only option is we have, because we actually dependent on people and dependent on loads and ends. So that's the same example actually remind me the something uh, of a cancer patient who is in the stage number 3, and then he just want to spend like every day like thousands of dollar only to save himself. So the doctor only give him some kind of a painkiller which could only reveal his pain or like reduce his pain, but every day he is like the doctors are not treating the basic problem, they are basically treating the pain. So the same pain will maybe gone for a time being, but the same problem, the same virus, the same problem in the same cancer species is actually still there. We have also issues of water supply. As I mentioned that Pakistan is one of the top country around the world after Africa, where we have the inefficiency or the unavailability of the clean and drinking water. Still in across the country, across many districts, across many villages, many cities around the country, specifically in Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, the people have those issues, which is quite alarming for the administration as well. If they until now did not succeed at least to provide the drinking water to their people. Still, we have the system of a sanitation as well, which is one of the worst one. We need almost millions of dollar. We have like almost 51 million citizens lacked access to improved sanitation. We don't have any big sewage or sewerage treatment plant. Almost 30% of the people don't have any sanitation facility. 79% of the urban household have no garbage collection system across the country. So you could imagine where we are actually leading. If we talk about the transportation as well, um, from the 16th century, we have still the same one GT road which is still there. These are the economic survey of Pakistan. So we have paved road and unpaved road, the hilly area, and then we have the total road length as well. The question is, 47% of the national highways are in a poor to very poor condition according to National Highway Administration in 2005. And we have also the passenger traffic is getting worse. We have more dependency on the on own personal car. So what is actually where we are leading that we are more uh, depending on personal car uh, rather than the public transportation, which is quite challenging thing for the country. We have also transportation issues across the country. We never built anything after the independence. The same thing is we have what we got in 1947. Yes, one thing is going on that we have reduction in the infrastructure, we have reduction in the locomotive, we have reduction in the length what we got in 1947, but we did not build anything after 1947. These are the according to the recent census from 1940s from 2007 according to the economic survey and study of Pakistan. The same is the situation of irrigation. Almost 21 million hectares area is actually cultivated by around about 34 million hectare area, which was suitable, but now the same cultivated area is facing the water issues as well. So people are basically moving from the rural area to the water area. So we have a huge problem of irrigation structure is facing, and we have a huge water management and water dispute situation as well, which need to be looked on the urgent basis as well. These are the major reservoir and barrages according to Pakistan. So as you can see here, we have almost many things, but the same problem is that we did not manage things properly. Energy sector is basically we have a very huge shortfall, or like almost in every time. We have a very serious shortfall of almost 4,000 megawatts in peak hours, such as like June, July, or August, in the summer time. And the same situation is actually getting worse from the day by day. Most of the petroleum, natural gas, coal, and renewable resources are owned by the foreign companies, where they are actually getting richer and richer, and the administration and people are getting nothing. The same situation we do have in we have an education system. We have non-functional policies and administration. We have low quality of the health. We have multi-dimensionally and multidisciplinary problems in the terms of the infrastructure, and we don't have any some fire station in the basic facility. So almost we have a lot of problems. So what is the summary of the situation? Infrastructure is not good as it is inadequate. It's because of the poor condition, it's because of the financial deficit as well, which need a proper and urgent attention. As you can see here, the maintenance and service life in Pakistan. So the level of performance is for example, if you give the 2% of the maintenance, as you can see here, the very top line, the same facility, building, infrastructure project will run for a very huge time. But if we have a 0% of the maintenance, the quality level will actually reach is maybe expired from its expected time. So the maintenance and service life have a direct connection. If you will maintain the things properly, it will run for like longer life. But if you will not maintain the things, then it will get deteriorated very quickly. The same is the situation of the infrastructure and maintenance as well, that the more we usually spend too much cost on it, but if we don't have any maintenance, and the same infrastructure will reach to the critical situation very soon, so the things will get deteriorated very quickly. This is all from my side regarding sustainable development and construction for the week of 15 and 16 of the sustainable development and construction. I hope so far each and every student have got the basic idea about the problems what we are facing through, what type of problem we have. Now I am going to assign you the final term project, which should be based, which marking should be based, which you can look for the conference around the Pakistan or around the world. Most of the conferences are free, so you just need to submit your article. You can also send it to any conference paper or like general paper, to any general as well. Okay, so the project is, we are going to develop the transportation, the best public transportation in Peshawar. We are going to develop a framework for them. So the objective is to assess different options within the city. So our target is to give the sustainable transportation mode to select it for the Peshawar people. So we have the criteria which I have just suggested from my own side. That first of all, we have existing public transportation system, we have the newly built BRT, we have the old existing railway system, currently we have the Kareem and Uber. So you can structure your problem, you can identify the criteria through which we could measure the sustainability. You should also apply there the pairwise comparison for elements to calculate weightage, to calculate sustainability score.